What's going on, everybody? My name is Gary Kester, and you are listening to the Lakers Outsiders Weekly Podcast. A little background on this show that we're going to be doing. If for those of you that have never heard of me, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot of you, like I said, my name is Gary Kester. I am one of the 5 founding members of LakersOutsiders.com. So if you have seen my work, you've probably seen it over there. A little background on me and on the show before we dive into our first topic, which is going to be the center position for the Lakers with the news of DeMarcus Cousins' injury and the Dwight Howard rumors and so on and so forth. But before I dive into that, a little background info on me and what we're going to be doing on this show. So Lakers Outsiders is going to be partnering with UCast Studios. Big thank you to Marcus Crutchfield for reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity. I'm very, very thankful for this. It gives Lakers Outsiders another outlet. Like I said, I am one of the 5 founding members of the site. We started this back in 2015, back when the Lakers were not a good basketball team and ended up getting the second pick that year and took D'Angelo Russell. So that's when this whole journey kind of started. Previously, I had written for a number of different blogs. I kind of wrote general NBA stuff, and then I was lucky enough to write for a little bit of time for LakersNation.com. I moved on to SilverScreenAndRoll.com as well in there. So I have, I've been talking about the Lakers for a long time. I've been a lifelong fan ever since I was a little kid. I am not based out of the LA area. I'm actually from Boise, Idaho. I'm currently a junior at Boise State University, but I've been a huge Laker fan my entire life. Basically passed down to me from my dad. My dad is a diehard Laker fan, and so I was definitely raised in a Laker household. So, but yeah, I have experience writing and talking about the Lakers. I host the Lakers Outsiders podcast over at LakersOutsiders.com. And like I said, we'll be partnering with UCast Studios and kind of giving you, this show will be done once a week for now. We'll kind of test the waters a little bit, and it'll be kind of a weekly recap show. Sometimes, especially now during the off season, we'll be doing some fun episodes, maybe like an all-time Lakers fantasy draft, kind of some random ideas like that. Just kind of get us through the off-season until training camp starts in next month, probably about a month or so away, in about mid-September, and then rolling into preseason and the regular season starts in October. So yeah, we'll be mostly talking about kind of recapping the news each week. I'll also still have the Lakers Outsiders podcast that we'll be doing, that I do with Hani Amadian and everybody else from that site. I got a great crew over there. So if you want to follow this work, you can hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. It's also going to be uploaded. It should be uploaded to different podcast mediums. So iTunes, Podbean, those kind of things. So yeah, working on some of that stuff. Like I said, this is the first episode, so it's going to be probably like a rough draft kind of, and we're going to try and build upon it. But yeah, that's kind of what we're going for, and I'll be producing one video here, or one podcast, I should say, weekly, and I'll still be doing kind of my normal workload over at LakersOutsiders.com, mainly just doing some video content and some podcasting over there as well. So, but today's a solo show for me. A lot of these might be that way. We'll kind of just have to play it by ear and kind of see how it goes. But like I said, I'm going to dive into the first topic of the day, or the main topic, I guess, which is the center position for the Lakers. And the first part of that is, unfortunately, the DeMarcus Cousins injury. DeMarcus Cousins was playing in a pickup basketball league, and as basketball players do, they play basketball in the offseason, and unfortunately suffered a torn ACL. I believe it was in his left knee, which most of his injuries now, he's had a ruptured Achilles tendon, a torn quad, and now a torn ACL. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're all in the left leg. So that's concerning. I feel really, really bad for DeMarcus Cousins because, the pictures, you kind of probably saw the pictures and interviews with him. Since he signed on with the Lakers, he looked like he had really slimmed down and looked like he was at a really good playing weight. And I was really excited to see him in year 2 post Achilles surgery. because I thought he was really poised to have a bounce back year, and he obviously has a lot of chemistry with Anthony Davis, and he's played with Rajon Rondo, and I think playing next to LeBron would really, really help, as it does for a lot of guys. So I was really excited to see him play. I have no idea if there's any chance that he would be able to return for like any time in the playoffs or the finals or whatever, if the Lakers were lucky enough to get that far. I have no idea. Usually, I mean, this injury, especially for somebody maybe as big as Cousins, it might take a full year. So kind of sucks that his season's already been derailed before we even got to training camp. Like I said, I just feel really bad for him because it looks like he had worked really hard to get, kind of slimmed down, and thought he was going to be a very important piece for the Lakers, and it's definitely, I think, a big blow to kind of the Lakers' chances this year. Not saying they can't overcome it, but I thought Cousins was going to be a very, very important piece for them. Honestly, probably some nights their third or fourth most impactful player behind LeBron, Anthony Davis, and sometimes Danny Green. So, it's really kind of disheartening to see that happen to Cousins, who has just been snake bitten by injuries. Once he got out of Sacramento and got on, the Pelicans were a playoff team, and then he got with Golden State and got injured, and it's sad to see. It's really sad to see, and I hope he is able to recover from this and really extend his career more than I think a lot of people might envision for him now, because he's been so snake bitten by injuries. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, he has as speedy of a recovery as he can and comes back healthy, and he can bounce back to the player that we've seen him be, because when he's healthy, he's a very, very talented player, a very good player. I would love to see it happen with the Lakers. So in the wake of his injury, the Lakers do have a void in the middle. They still have JaVale McGee, and they still have Anthony Davis, so they've got a couple guys that can play center. Anthony Davis doesn't particularly enjoy playing center, I think, especially for just big minutes. I don't think he wants to start there. So I would be surprised if it's anybody else besides JaVale McGee at this point, which is fine. I think JaVale naturally wants, his best role is going to be, he can start, especially next to Anthony Davis. I think he's a pretty solid fit because he understands his role as a defensive big man, that can block shots, go in there and rebound, and finish off plays that are created from LeBron and, whoever, the Lakers guards and so on and so forth. So I think he understands his role, and I thought he was actually very good last year until he got sick. He's battling an illness, and it was kind of a long road back from that. But I thought he did play well last year, and I was very happy to see that he was brought back. I think he's going to be the starting center, and that's good because I think he's a good fit next to Anthony Davis, and obviously has some chemistry with the guys that did return from the Lakers last year: LeBron, Alex Caruso, KCP, so on and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see what the Lakers do, because they are definitely waiting for Memphis now on a couple accounts. I don't think a lot of teams are waiting on Memphis to hopefully buy out Andre Igudala, because I think he'd be an amazing fit on pretty much any playoff contender. He's still a guy that can defend, and he can defend out on the wing, which I think is something the Lakers still need. I think Danny Green's excellent there. I don't know. We'll have to see on Kyle Kuzma as a wing defender. He's definitely got to improve there. He showed some flashes, I think, but he's got to be a little more consistent there, and they probably need some help defending wings. Igudala would be very nice. But back to the center position, also kind of with Memphis right now, expecting to be bought out. Well, I don't know if Igudala is going to be bought out, but hopefully. But Dwight Howard, this is a name that is going to probably divide Laker fans, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the consensus is no on Dwight Howard. But the news that came out today was that the Lakers and Dwight Howard, this was reported by The Athletic's Shams Charania, and he reported that the Lakers and Dwight Howard have mutual interest in one another. I'm still not entirely sold on the Lakers side of this ordeal, because I I have heard that the Lakers, I mean, there's a lot of people in that building that are still not thrilled about Dwight Howard and kind of how the 2012-2013 season went down, and him, leaving after one season, which ultimately kind of started along with Kobe's injury, started the downfall of the Lakers. And they've tried to kind of build the program back up. But so I've got some thoughts on one. Let me go back to the DeMarcus Cousins thing, and then I'll dive into Dwight Howard. But I've seen a lot of people be very critical of DeMarcus Cousins for playing in a pickup league and ultimately getting hurt in that league. I don't understand that. I really just don't get how you can be upset at at a basketball player getting injured in the offseason playing basketball. I feel like a lot of people are critical of athletes when they're not spending time in the gym. I think you see it on social media a lot. If a guy, posts, that he's having dinner at a restaurant, you'll probably see a comment of somebody saying, "Why aren't you in the gym?" You know what I mean? So the fact that, I think hindsight's 20/20, but I am not critical at all of DeMarcus Cousins getting injured playing in a basketball league. Like, he's a basketball player. That's what they do. That's kind of his off-season regimen, I guess. I don't know if he's done that every year or whatever, but he's playing basketball. If he was playing with, his teammates at the Lakers facility and it happened, nobody would say anything, right? So, maybe he needed to rest more. I don't know. I don't know what his off-season program looked like on a day-to-day basis, but it's what athletes do. It's what professional athletes do. I mean, they work out during the off-season and try and improve their game and get better and stay in shape for the upcoming season. And that's all DeMarcus Cousins was doing, and it's just unfortunate that happened to him. There's just no way. It could have happened when he was weightlifting, and nobody would have said anything. But because it's in a pickup basketball league, I've seen some people kind of up in arms over that, and I just disagree with that. I mean, he's playing basketball. What more do you want a basketball player to do? So, okay, back to Dwight Howard. I am still not convinced that this will happen just yet. I think they've got a lot of things that they need to hash out. It sounds like they are going to meet and kind of discuss things. And it'll be interesting because Dwight especially didn't get along with Kobe. And Rob Pelinka is, the general manager of the Lakers and is one of he might be Kobe's best friend. He was his agent for a long time, and so there's obviously a strong relationship there. So that'll be an interesting dynamic to kind of keep an eye on here is, Dwight and Kobe had a very poor relationship when they were teammates for that one season. And, Rob Pelinka is very close with Kobe. So it would be kind of interesting to see Pelinka sign Dwight Howard to the Lakers given that dynamic. With that being said, I don't think Dwight Howard is a bad option at this point. I think the Lakers could definitely do worse. We're in mid-August, so it's going to be kind of slim pickings out there, especially I think at the center position. It's already probably pretty thin around the league. And it's a tough spot for them, and I'll offer kind of a couple different replacements here in a minute. But for Dwight, here's kind of my thing, and I know a lot of Laker fans don't like him still because of how he left in 2013 to go sign with the Houston Rockets, and he's kind of bounced around the league a little bit since then. For me, that animosity towards Dwight Howard kind of died when Damian Lillard hit that ridiculous game winner in Game 6 of that playoff series the very next year that eliminated the Houston Rockets. When he hit that shot, it was like, that was kind of, to me, at least as a Laker fan, that was kind of vindication of, seeing kind of the look, I guess, on Dwight's face when that shot went in and their season was over, just, in the blink of an eye. After that, I really haven't had an issue with the guy. I mean, it's unfortunate that he left, and, the Lakers have really struggled ever since. But again, that was kind of partnered with Kobe and his injuries that plagued him towards the very end of his career. But so I don't have any animosity towards Dwight Howard. I'm always of the mindset that if you can help the Lakers win games, I'll root for you. You know, I kind of think back to Ron Artest or Meta World Peace or whatever you want to call him. But the Lakers signed him just months after him and Kobe kind of continuously got into it, you know, and kind of were at each other's throats a little bit, especially in that playoff series. And they kind of went at it. And, you know, a few months later, the Lakers signed Ron Artest and basically replaced Trevor Ariza with him. And the rest is history. I mean, Artest comes up big in Game 7 of the NBA Finals against the Celtics and, you know, hit some big shots and was clutch. And, you know, so, you know, all that kind of past history with Kobe or whatever really washed away at that point. So if Dwight, you know, was able to do the same thing and kind of have a resurgence with the Lakers in a second stint, I think people would, you know, probably forget about a lot of that stuff. You know, because ultimately it's about, if you're a Laker fan, it's about the name on the front of the jersey, not the one on the back. And if, you know, whoever it is can help the Lakers win games, I mean, if you're a Laker fan, that should make you happy, no matter who it is. You know, I know a lot of fans still aren't happy that LeBron is a Laker because of their loyalty to Kobe. To me, if you're a Laker fan, though, and LeBron helps bring home a Larry O'Brien trophy, you know, helps get banner number 17 up there, then, I mean, how can you not root for that? You know what I mean? So that's where my stance is with Dwight. I don't know what everybody else thinks. So, I mean, feel free to leave it in the comments whether you want Dwight back or not, or I guess what your reaction would be if the Lakers signed him. I think he would be a good option. My only concern with Dwight is probably just kind of the mental aspect of it, because we've, you know, seen just kind of a lot of drama out of Dwight, obviously with the Lakers, and then some afterwards with other teams. And my concern would be that the role that he would be signing on with the Lakers is probably, I don't know if he would start. I would imagine JaVale McGee is going to start just due to familiarity, and I think he's just a great fit. But, I mean, maybe Dwight Howard could start. Who knows? I don't know what Frank Vogel's thought process would be on that. But my concern would be, would Dwight Howard accept a lesser role? Like, what is his mindset right now? Does he still think that he's the star center that we saw with Orlando, and kind of to the lesser extent with the Lakers and the Rockets? You know, does he still believe that he needs X amount of touches? Does he still think he needs to start? He needs, you know, all these things, right? You know, so that's my concern. Will he accept a role where the Lakers say, hey, we want you to come in and play 15 to 20 minutes a night. You're not going to close games because you're poor free throw shooting. And, you know, honestly, I think the Lakers are going to be better suited, you know, those last 6-7 minutes of a game with Anthony Davis at center. And I think Davis could probably get on board with that if it's just, you know, a short spurt at the end of the game to close the game out that he plays center. So will Dwight be receptive to taking a lesser role? Because if he buys into that, where he says, yeah, I'll come in, I'll defend, I'll, you know, protect the rim, protect the paint, I'll rebound, and I'll finish off shots around the rim when they're created for me. If he does that, then I'm all for it, because he's still a quality player, obviously far from, you know, his Orlando days, but I still think he can be a solid contributor in a limited role. So my question is, will he be willing to do that? Because it kind of reminds me of, and obviously this guy grew into being a better player before he fell off completely, but the 2011 season, the Lakers had kind of struggled. They were going for a three-peat, 2011, or it was 2010, 2011, I believe. So yeah, they were coming off, you know, back-to-back titles and going for a three-peat. But Andrew Bynum, the Lakers told him at the All-Star break, basically, look, we need you to buy in and basically focus on defense and rebounding, and then finishing off, you know, easy buckets around the rim when they're presented to you. And the Lakers came out of that All-Star break and won like 17 out of the first 18 games out of the break, because he locked in and kind of understood his role, and the pieces started to fall into place. And, you know, eventually the Lakers ran into that buzzsaw that was the Dallas Mavericks that year, who ended up winning the title. But yeah, I mean, if you get a guy that is willing to buy into his role and is committed to it and wants to just help the team win and is committed to, trying to win a championship, and if Dwight is of that mindset, then I think he could be a very solid pickup. I really do. But we'll see. Ramona Shelburne of ESPN kind of tweeted out a little bit ago before I'm recording this that the Lakers side of this is basically just them doing their due diligence. She made it sound like there's not strong interest from the Lakers side, which would make sense just given the past history and whatnot. But Lakers are definitely doing their due diligence and probably just evaluating all their options. And speaking of other options, there are some guys out there that I think could still be picked up and still be quality contributors to the Lakers at that center position, because they're going to need some front court depth right away, because Cousins obviously isn't going to be available for them, so they're pretty thin up front now, and I don't think you want to play LeBron you definitely can't play Kuzma at center. I think we learned that last year. I don't think you want to play LeBron at center for more than just spot minutes. But a couple guys that I do like, there are some names out there. I've seen some people say Marcin Gortat. Nene is out there too. There's still some options out there. For me personally, there are two options that I personally like. One is a guy that most NBA fans know, and that's Joakim Noah. Both of these guys I think most NBA fans are going to know. But Joakim Noah is an interesting option for me because I think he has past history, I think, with comments regarding LeBron. So if that's water under the bridge, then I think it'd be totally fine. But I think he can be a quality contributor because I think at this point of his career, he understands his role where, he's going to come in, he's going to hustle, he's going to play hard. He's going to be kind of a vocal leader still. And, he's going to play defense, he's going to rebound, do all kind of the dirty work basically. And that's just kind of what the Lakers need. They need another big that can play 15, 20 minutes a night and, like I said, do kind of all the dirty work and be a physical presence down low and play solid defense and rebound the basketball. And if they want somebody that can rebound the basketball, another option that's out there that I think is very interesting is Kenneth Faried. Now, Faried is obviously undersized he's been undersized for a center. But, if you want a guy, like I said, that does the dirty work, it's going to be hard. You're going to be hard-pressed to find somebody that plays as hard as Kenneth Faried does. The guy, his motor is very, very good. It's just constantly going. And I remember just every time the Lakers would play against Kenneth Faried, it was always so frustrating because he just works so hard on the glass. Now, I don't know where he would be at as a defender at this point of his career, but if they want a guy, like I said, they can do the dirty work and be a physical presence and really rebound the hell out of the basketball, he would be an option to keep an eye on. The Lakers might be looking for a little bit more. They might be looking for a bigger body, and that's where I think they could turn to a Joakim Noah or a Dwight Howard. So there are definitely some options out there, though, and it'll be interesting to see which direction the Lakers go because, they've got – I think they'll be able to get an exception with the Cousins injury to basically have 2 roster spots open. I'm not 100% sure on that. But if they're able to do that, they would have 2 roster spots, and I think they obviously need another big guy to replace DeMarcus Cousins, and they still need, to me, another wing defender because you can't ask, I think, basically LeBron and Danny Green to do all the heavy lifting there. Avery Bradley's going to do some of that as well, I think, assuming that he's healthy and can have a bounce-back year. But, Lakers still have a couple needs that I think they need to address with these last 1 or 2 roster spots, and hopefully they're able to get the guys they want. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on Dwight Howard or another replacement in the comments section, or you can follow me on Twitter at Gary Kester, just my first and last name. And let me know what you think. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And like I said, you can find all my work at LakersOutsiders.com. We have an amazing team over there that keeps you updated with news, editorials, so on and so forth. And I also have the podcast that I have over there with Hani Ahmadian. So yeah, like I said, this is the first episode of this. We'll be doing this once a week, kind of probably aiming for Sundays that these will release, but that is kind of subject to change. And we the show title, like I said, right now is kind of, I'm terrible at being creative with stuff like that, so I am open to suggestions on a show title. I do want to have Lakers Outsiders in the name, so right now it's just Lakers Outsiders Weekly. But if you have something, like I said, leave it in the comments, shoot it to me on Twitter at Gary Kester. Yeah, that's going to do it for this time. I appreciate you listening. Again, if you hit that subscribe button, I would really, really appreciate it. And that's going to do it for now. And until next week, I will see you guys later.